Hello, and welcome back to our video series where we rank the best new roller coasters that opened in each specific year. We began this series ranking all of the new coasters that opened in 2001, the same year America's Coaster Network was created. This is the 10th episode, so it's time to enter a new decade and rank the best roller coasters that opened in 2010. If you've been enjoying this series, please continue showing your support by giving this video a like, subscribing to our channel if you haven't already, and turn on notifications for new uploads. We greatly appreciate your help in beating the YouTube algorithm, and your likes and comments go a long way in doing just that. These are the top 10 roller coasters that opened in 2010. As always in this series, we only rank coasters that were newly constructed for each season, so you will not see coasters that were relocated and opened at a different park in 2010 on this list. And our rankings are based on how the coasters operated at the time of their opening year, so if they've become rougher or had modifications since 2010, that will not play a role in how they're ranked today. Despite the continued slow economic recovery, 2010 is not nearly as bad as 2009, when only 7 new coasters were built in the US. In fact, 2010 saw exactly twice as many new coasters constructed, with 14. And we can't begin ranking the top 10 roller coasters of 2010 without this honorable mention, Air Grover at Busch Gardens Tampa. And that's because its clone, Grover's Alpine Express at Busch Gardens Williamsburg, ranked all the way at number 6 in last month's top 10 coasters of 2009 video. Busch really likes these Zero family coasters. In addition to Air Grover and Grover's Alpine Express, they added similar models to SeaWorld San Antonio in 2004, SeaWorld Orlando in 2006, and the Sesame Place in Chula Vista when it opened in 2022. It's a short ride, but it gets cool points for the 1980s Volvo headrests. Creeping into the number 10 spot is Circus Coaster at Luna Park. A speedy coaster by Zamperla, this coaster is anything but that, with a modest top speed of only 18.6 miles per hour. And in a park full of rides that are supposed to appeal to an entire family, we really question Luna Park's decision in theming it to clowns. The last thing a child scared of roller coasters needs is a creepy-ass clown stamped to the front of the train. That'll sure convince them to ride.
You're gonna die, clown! You think that's funny? I don't hear you laughing now! Whoa, enough!
And just a short New York walk away from Circus Coaster,
I'm walking here! I'm walking here!
you'll find another Zamperla coaster with a creepy face at the number 9 spot on this list, the Tickler, also at Luna Park. This one is a twister coaster, or a spinning wild mouse to the layperson. In a park showcasing Zamperla models, the Tickler is actually one of the better ones, but I'm not sure I want this guy to be tickling me. I suppose 2010 can be called the year of the Alpine coaster, because the next 5 coasters on this list are just that. And while riding an Alpine is probably not as exciting as riding a Crispine, we had to fill this list with something. And like Crispine, we've not been on any of these, but the ride experiences are pretty much the same, so we'll simply rank them by their track lengths and surrounding scenery. Number 8 is Gold Runner Alpine Coaster at the Breckenridge Ski Resort in Colorado. With a track length of only 2,346 feet, it's the shortest Alpine coaster that opened in 2010. It's also one of the few Alpine coasters in Colorado you can ride without needing a lift ticket, which is typically more expensive than the admission to ride the coaster. With that said, it's the second shortest Alpine coaster in the state, so you're probably better off just buying a beer from the nearby Breckenridge Brewery instead. The next Alpine coaster is the aptly named Mountain Coaster at the Cranmore Adventure Park in New Hampshire. Like Colorado, New Hampshire has beautiful mountain ranges, so ski resorts are plentiful. Thus, this coaster is one of 3 Alpine coasters found in the state. Mountain Coaster is just under 50 feet longer than Gold Runner at 2,395 feet in length, but its terrain is downright stunning. Just look how much green there is. No, not that green. That's a completely different video. Next up, we have Timber Ripper Mountain Coaster at the Yakimo Mountain Resort in Vermont at number 6. With 3,084 feet of track, it is 700 feet longer than the previous 2. and the first half of its downhill track traverses through a lush forest of trees, which is something you wouldn't see at our local mountain. However, its second half is more wide open.
That's what she said.
Oh, no, not that. Just come on, you guys, let's do it.
You know, if it weren't for the world-class beer at the Alchemist and the State's 2 coasters, the other being Beast Mountain Coaster, which opened in 2015 at the Killington Resort, there really isn't another reason to ever visit Vermont. Sorry, Bernie. The fifth best coaster of 2010 is Timber Twister at Spirit Mountain in Duluth, Minnesota. Fun fact, at 46.71 degrees latitude, it is the northernmost alpine coaster in the United States. I know you didn't ask, but we were so bored with this list that we just had to make it more interesting, and failed in doing so. But Timber Twister is 3,369 feet long.
Nice.
Oh wait, it is 3,369.4 feet long. Those extra 4.8 inches, they matter. Last but not least, because it's the best alpine coaster from 2010, storming into the number 4 spot is Nor'easter Mountain Coaster at the Attitash Mountain Resort. Not to be confused with this Nor'easter is 4,300 feet in length, making it the longest coaster in New Hampshire. We've already established that length matters, but it's also notable that this one was done by the New York-based Aquatic Development Group, instead of the German manufacturer Weekend. America first. Skyrocketing up to number 3 is Skyrocket at Kennywood. Skyrocket was the original Skyrocket before Premier premiered the Skyrocket 2 and Skyrocket 3 models. This Skyrocket is a Skyrocket 1 model. Skyrocket skyrockets you with an LSM launch from 0 to 50 miles per hour in 3 seconds and rockets you through 3 inversions, all in the sky. Skyrocket's in flight, afternoon delight. Except don't try to ride this Skyrocket in the afternoon, the line will be way too long. Especially if you happen to visit the same day as literally every elementary school in the Pittsburgh metropolitan area. In which case, buy a Skyrocket and aim for the sky to rocket away as far as possible. Drafting its way into the number 2 position is Intimidator at Carowinds. Intimidator. This B&M Hyper was the first of 2 coasters to open in 2010, themed to the late great stock car driver Dale Earnhardt, whose nickname was the Intimidator because of his aggressive driving style. But this coaster is anything but. Intimidator is easily one of the tamest B&M Hyper coasters we've been on. The ride stands 232 feet tall with a 211-foot drop at 74 degrees, reaching a top speed of 75 miles per hour. All impressive stats, which are similar to Diamondback, our favorite B&M Hyper. But somehow the airtime is lacking on this one. The ride just doesn't do anything for us. Plus, we're baffled why the first turn you hit after cresting the second hill is a right turn, when NASCAR vehicles race counterclockwise and make nothing but left turns. Intimidator at Carowinds marked the 3rd year in a row Cedar Fair would open a B&M Hypercoaster at one of their parks, with Behemoth at Canada's Wonderland in 2008, and Diamondback at Kings Island in 2009, both which we like a lot more. Intimidator falls just short of winning the checkered flag, sort of, because taking the lead is Intimidator 305 at Kings Dominion. This one also starts off turning right. Intamin clearly didn't do their NASCAR research either, nor did they properly research and calculate the forces riders would experience during that right turn, which were so great that some riders would black out. For the following season, the turn was modified to reduce those forces, but it's still one of the most intense experiences today. This Intimidator is worthy of the Intimidator name. As the name suggests, Intimidator 305 stands 305 feet tall, 5 feet short of Millennium Force 310, but the drop is the same length, 300 feet. It drops at 85 degrees and reaches a top speed of 90 miles per hour. Throughout its course, it's a bunch of twists and turns, which would have been better suited for a Formula 1 theme, something I guess the local rednecks just wouldn't be as excited for. All that said, like Dale Earnhardt being one of the greatest drivers of all time, Intimidator 305 is one of the greatest coasters ever built. Now that we're thoroughly alpined and intimidated, this concludes the top 10 coasters that opened in 2010. It was another weak year overall, but ended very strong, so the year wasn't a complete bust. Did any ranking surprise or upset you? What would you change in your own ranking? Let us know in the comments below. Also, let us know what your favorite Alpine coaster is and why. Next month, we'll rank the top 10 coasters that opened in 2011, which looks to be a much stronger year as America continued rebounding from the 2008 economic depression. Thanks for counting down with us, and we will see you in the next video.